everybody. Michael Goldsman here from clearingconnect.com. Something that's been on my heart today as I work with my individual client clearing sessions is relationship karma or relationship issues. This term relationship karma is probably something that is immediately something we can grasp just by hearing the term. Relationship karma is really the history that we have with a particular individual, even beyond just this lifetime. I know if you're watching this video, you're probably open to the idea of past lives. The people who are most significant to us, either in a positive or in a negative way, we often have many lifetimes with them. My way of assessing numbers of lifetimes takes into account even things like non-physical lifetimes, believe it or not, that we may have had in the spiritual realms with another soul. So sometimes we can have thousands of lifetimes with another individual. Even if that individual appears to us to be generally positive in this lifetime, like a parent, a child, a significant other. So these are some of the most significant relationships we can have. There's often been many lifetimes in which we have been, either we or they have been the perpetrator or the victim of something that has gone on in our dynamic, all the way through killing each other, or one of us may have been some sort of religious or political leader that led to the condemnation, even execution of the other. As dramatic as that may sound, look at the history of humanity and how many times these kinds of crazy situations have just emerged where we are lacking any kind of real sanity in a situation, society. And these things have an impact, not just in that particular moment, especially when the soul transitions or dies, the body dies in that particular lifetime, maybe at the hands of us, we committed it, or we were the ones who died in that lifetime. The soul doesn't have a chance to process the karma of that lifetime when that happens. What happens is that we have these physical, more body-mind system that we have here. You're seeing on this screen. I have this physical body, but I also have this mental, emotional self that's really focused in this lifetime. And after my body dies, what happens is that, and for all of us, just using myself as an example, our what we have created, what we have resolved, what we have put into this body-mind complex is pulled out of the physical, and that goes into the higher soul or the soul records, and that becomes part of the ongoing lesson. What has been resolved, what hasn't been resolved. If the body is killed in a violent way, the body-mind complex doesn't have a chance to actually process it in the course of that lifetime. Therefore, it goes immediately into the larger soul lessons of that life, and especially related to what were the circumstances and the people involved. So people come to me, want to do relationship clearing, and we discover, oh, you've had hundreds or thousands of lifetimes with this individual. One of the ways I've found it to be very effective to do this clearing is actually I've developed a chart show you in front of me here. This is traumatic life exits and entrances. Entrances because I also have a birth section down here. I don't know if you can see that. But over time, I've kind of researched and developed, 75 different ways someone can enter traumatically or exit traumatically. And not trying to be dramatic in the clearings, but the reason why that's significant is because that karma can be very difficult if someone has not processed it, and very likely they haven't from that lifetime. That can impact every area of life, including the relationship with that individual that you now have, if they're your significant other, your parent, your child, your coworker, your ex. But it can also impact other areas of life, your ability to attract, to manifest, to create, not just in relationship. Remember, everything, the karma is dynamic and it crosses all boundaries. So we don't just have one segment called relationship karma, one segment called money karma, one segment called health karma. It's all this undifferentiated energy in our consciousness, and it affects everything else. If we have fear that has come out from a traumatic death transition, that fear can spill over into, can I create my purpose? Can I know what that purpose is? Can I heal my body or heal my life or attract or manifest? So what I was thinking I kind of wanted to do with you in just like 2 or 3 minutes is to maybe work on, I'm going to ask your higher self to choose a death transition. I know this sounds kind of crazy. I understand that. But you don't have to really believe what I'm saying. I just want, if you're open to it, I want you to experience it when we do this in just a second. To choose a death transition that you may have that's limiting to you, but that's going to be gentle and easy for you to clear right now. I don't have to know, you don't have to know who the person was in that lifetime, but I often will ask that in the individual work as well. I'll often ask, let's go into a situation. What's the easiest? Just get some stuff cleared for this person. Let's go into a situation that was easy, quote unquote, relatively. So I want to make this video, which is going to go on YouTube, as easy for you to process as possible. So if you want to do this clearing with me, just relax and breathe. I'm going to begin to bring in the energy current now. So just take a breath, and just by your continuing to watch this video and just by breathing, you're beginning to just express to your own self, your own higher self, that you're open and ready. Remember, I'm not doing anything to you. I'm just holding a certain space, and with some prayer energy, some energy experience facilitation in here that's going to work with your own higher self. So I'm just going to ask Spirit to surround and protect you, and to make this work for your highest and best good, and to establish that initial infinite process for you right now. I'm just sort of moving my hands a little bit. It's kind of the way I feel the energy of the clearings. Take a breath. So things are getting cleared for you already. You might notice that. Good. We're going to ask for that to happen quickly. We're just going to ask for your higher self to select one death transition, gentle and easy, but it's going to make an impact for you. We want that to happen. It's going to be something you're going to notice. Oh, that feels easier in my life. That situation. Maybe it's a death transition related to someone that you're currently in relationship with that I just mentioned, like a family member, friend, significant other. So we're going to ask to clear all blocks to that death transition that we may have caused, or that may have been caused to us, or it may have been some combination. Sometimes these death transitions are accidental, sometimes they're intentional. And, we don't know. They can be a combination of both. So we're just going to ask in this moment that all of those death transitions that we're talking about here, higher self is selecting, we're asking to clear. We're asking to clear the transition, but also clear everything that's led up to the transition. The transition is not just isolated. There could be an entire lifetime going into building up energy around, how do we get to this place? How do we get to this place? And we're also asking to clear the aftermath. So remember, it's like an inflection point. There could be hundreds of lifetimes that led us to a point where we might have been the victim of some particular situation or the perpetrator. And then there can be hundreds of lifetimes after that where that energy, fear, anger, resentment, not standing in our power, our agency, abdication, all of this stuff can continue to play a role. So we're asking to go, kind of like a thread through some, what do they call it, a thing in cheese, those little colors that move through blue cheese or something. It's kind of like that. It's like a vein. Thank you. And it kind of moves through these different lifetimes. So we're just asking for that clearing to occur for you, but this is also going to affect the other individual. This is kind of like a prayer or a blessing going to the other individual. They don't have to know that it's happening. We're not forcing something upon them. Prayer is just getting in touch with our true nature. That's what it really is. So asking you to seal this clearing in. Make it permanent for each person watching. Just notice what you've experienced in just these few minutes. Now, if I had more specific information about you, we could flesh this out. Sometimes there's dozens of different death transitions we can look at. What are the energies you're holding, they're holding, for different kinds of relationships. So it becomes really exciting. Seal this clearing in spirit. We're going to stop now. It becomes really exciting when we can take a relationship. Now, remember, these can be people in your life now that you might want to work on. They can also be people that you have been in a relationship before, even if they have died in this lifetime. Say a parent, loved one. Say it's an ex, someone you just had trouble in your relationship with them, trouble getting over. That's a great place to work. The one that feels really triggering to you even now, whether they're in your life, whether they're even on the planet, that all of their energy and your energy with them is still all available to work on clearing. The energy never dies, and it still can be affecting you right now. So it's a great way to work on clearing. I just wanted to introduce you to that idea today and do a little process with you that our souls are larger than we realize, and our influence coming to us from our, you could say subconscious, but it's even larger than that, coming to us from our larger soul, from the interactions and experiences that we've had. Themselves, some of them can be largely unprocessed and unresolved. It's not God condemning us, punishing us, saying, you are going to reap what you sow. It's not like that. It's just that the energy itself, when it's not resolved in the larger soul, becomes its own sort of self-fulfilling prophecy. And so it's our job to look at our life symbolically and say, this situations maybe aren't working the way I want them to, or I'm feeling this way. How can I go within and work maybe at many levels? Maybe spiritual clearing is one of them. Maybe working with your emotions, working with your physical body on health and healing. All of these things can be important. And you begin to unwind not just from this life, but you can begin to unwind issues from your larger soul. So I hope that you've enjoyed this. Please feel free to contact me. There's a link below this video. My website is clearandconnect.com. You can find ongoing group clearings there. You can find 400 or more past group clearings that you can download immediately, individual work, or if you just want to email me and ask some questions, feel free to do that. See you next time, friends.